Okay, g'day guys. I've had a few questions about worksheet number 3, so adding and subtracting fractions. So I'm just going to go over a few questions on this worksheet. So the first question here, let me just get my pen working. The first question here is saying draw a picture to represent 1/5 plus 2/5 and its result. So if I'm drawing 1/5, I'd have to break up my whole into 5 pieces, okay, and shade in one of them. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 1/5, and I'm going to add that to 2/5. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my whole and break it into 5 pieces, 5 equal pieces, and colour in 2/5. So the result is just going to be 3/5. A whole cut into 5 equal pieces and 3/5 shaded in. Okay, so that's the first question there, like that. The second is saying find the results of the following questions converting to a mixed number where necessary. Okay, so this question here is really getting you to look at this result up the top here and take the pattern that we've found from it. So if I look at what's happening up the top, I'm adding my numerators and I'm keeping the denominator the same. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and I'm still using fifths, so 3/5. In this question here, my answer would be 18ths, sorry, not 11/5, because I have 5, it's 5 plus 6 is 11, and that gives me 11/18ths, okay? In this question here, I'll get 14/13ths, okay, which is going to be equal to 1 and 1/13th as a mixed number, okay, because I've got one lot of 13 that goes into 14 and one left over. And in this instance here, 2 and 1/3 minus 1 and 1/3. I can change these back into improper fractions. So I know that 2 and 1/3 is going to be equal to 7/3, and 1 and 2/3 is going to be equal to 5/3. And by doing that, I get an answer of 2/3. Okay, so this, remember, is just oh, I can't write on that bit there. You take the bottom number and multiply it by the whole, and then add the numerator. So multiply the denominator by the whole, and add the numerator. So 1 and 2/3 becomes 5/3. Okay. So now getting a little bit trickier down here for question 3. If I have to add these two fractions, I can't immediately add them because I can see they have different size parts. I can't do this. It is not equal to that. Okay. So I've got to figure out a way of adding them together. The only way I can add them together is if they have the same size denominators, the same bit down the bottom. So if I was to find the smallest part I could turn it into, that's going to be 6ths. Okay, because the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. Okay, if I multiply by 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, my lowest common multiple is 6. Okay, so my lowest common multiple is 6. So I want to use 6 as my lowest common denominator. Okay, I want to use 6 as my lowest common denominator. So I've got to turn 1/2 into 6. Okay, I've got to turn 1/2 into 6. How do I know how many 6 1/2 is? Well, what I always do is I take this numerator, or this denominator, sorry, and I divide it into that denominator. I say, how many 2's go into 6? And it's 3. That means if I times this bottom bit by 3, I get 6. And I times the top bit by 3 as well. So that's 3/6. 1/2 is equal to 3/6. Okay. Same with this fraction here. I say, how many times does 3 go into 6? It's twice. Okay, 3 goes into that 6 2 times. So I need to times that by 2 to get to 6. That means I need to times the top by 2 to get the 6. So you get 4/6. Okay. So overall, this is 7/6. Okay, 1/2 plus 2/3, which is 1 1/6. Okay. All right, we'll do one more. My lowest common multiple of 4 and 5. So let's do multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, I can see there, by taking multiples, that 20 is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 5. That means that 20 will be my denominator. Okay. Another way of finding a denominator, maybe not the lowest common denominator, would be just to multiply 4 and 5, and I get 20. I know I could use that in my equivalent fraction. Okay. So let's try and turn this 3/5 into something 20ths. Okay. So go back to my problem where I go 20, how many 5s? 20 goes into 5 4 times. So if I times that bottom by 4, I get 20 down the bottom of this fraction, my equivalent fraction. And if I times the bottom by 4, I've got to times the top by 4. So that means that 3/5 is the same as 12/20ths. Okay. So how many times does 4 go into 20? It goes in 5 times. So if I times that by 5, 4 times 5 is 20. If I times the bottom of that fraction by 5, I've got to times the top by 5. 5 times 1 is 5. So really, this question here, 3/5 minus 1/4, is the same question as 12/20ths minus 5/20ths, which is equal to 7/20ths.